continuing on with messaging and scheduling demos. I'm doing some research on identifying AI podcasts. I have a couple of friends who run one, but I'm going to talk to them this week to see if it would be relevant or, that sort of thing. But, and then I have some just creating resources based on the demo insights that we've had in the past to hopefully start increasing some of the more natural leads, like inbound requests for demos and things like that. No blockers currently.
Okay, Avi.
I am grateful for what am I grateful for? I think I'm pretty grateful for time with friends this weekend. I spent a lot of time. I did hot yoga. I went to the farmers market. I did very suburban New York City things, and that was pretty nice. And I'm grateful for all the wonderful farmers and all the good food, and and a lot of the action that I was able to take this weekend, because I was able to have a couple of days without back-to-back meetings, so that was really nice. I'm also grateful to comedians. There was this comedian that I watched this weekend, and I was laughing so hard that I had to stop eating because I was afraid I was going to choke, and I had to do that a couple of times. I'll share the link in the Discord. And then this week, the only thing I'm doing is focusing on fundraising. We're done with the recruiting, and we're done with the investor update, which I'm maybe a couple of hours away from actually sending out this morning. And then that's exclusively what I'm going to be focused on. Feel free to join me in any meetings that anyone sees me in or sees on my calendar. And thank you, Pablo, for all the help with all the materials, and thank you, Sarah, for all the help with the lists and all the spreadsheets and documents and data rooms and all of those things that have had to be assembled over the last couple of weeks to prepare us.
Hello, everybody. I'm grateful that I get to go back home in 2 days and see my family. It'll be nice. What I'm working on this week is a task from Subod, which is try and better the prompts so we have more relevant levels to attributes, and maybe implementing a new attribute level generation thing based on a research paper. Also, I'm going to work on the real world products you get from the market simulator. I'm going to implement it into that it sends it immediately to the R analytics for Tatavik. Other than that, I'll just work on the general tasks I've been assigned.
Okay. Pablo.
Going to push for a long week. Interviews are not done. We have 8 second round interviews for account executives. We pushed 3 offers, or soon to push 3 offers already. So we're doing it in 2 cohorts. Been gearing up our sales process and further refining of our targets, our ICP. Also on my end, kind of getting a little bit more organized, getting ready to do my own personal fundraising outreach with my network. So just getting things in order there. and somehow, after all that, trying to do outreach as well, and close deals. The only blocker I have outstanding, and I'm meeting with Madi after this, is just, we need to make sure that every little detail around a customer being able to pay us actually works. And there's no excuse. That means Stripe, that means the Stripe connection, that means any discount that's set up, any integration or connection with both the app as well as a link that we send through Stripe. Like, we need to make sure that's buttoned up. I don't feel confident at the moment that it is. So, yep.
Can we do a test later today of like what that looks like, of that whole process?
I'm meeting with Madi right after this stand-up, since it's like, it should be the highest priority. We have people that want to pay and can't. So yeah. Yeah, I'm meeting with Madi right after this.
Okay, sweet.
Yep. And that's it.
Pablo, Sarah.
Right. So today, what's on our to-do list is update financial documents that we can send out through offer letters, apply to level up ventures and partners, send the investor update, and there's like one, I think who collected as an investor that we follow up with. And then I got some things done today. I'm gonna chat. That's what I got done today so far. And I will say Subodh, Chin. I'm trying to schedule a meeting between both of you, and I CC'd you on an email. So it's in the email for that. And hiring updates. So there's actually 12 people pushed to second round interviews. So that's people in Breezy, and everybody that's not Breezy has been emailed individually. And then we have 3 job offers. We have 3 job offers to send out, or some people before.
And then we have a new social media person also starting on the 12th. Or no, sorry, 16th? Something like that.
Yeah.
Lucy, I think. Is that her name?
Yes, her name is Lucy Liu.
Okay, moving on to Hani.
Hi everyone, happy Monday. I'd say I'm grateful for today because I had my computer vision and SEM exam today and it went pretty well. A lot better than I expected it to go. It went pretty nice. So last week I finished up with the Fern API documentation, and Madi said that he'll review it and merge it to the website. There is an endpoint, I think it's the human baseline endpoint that currently works only in dev. So he said he'll merge it to prod and then merge the Fern API documentation with the website. And I've started working on migrating our internal documentation from Gitbook to GitHub.
Suhani, we are making the API documentation like a showcase of the new investor update. Do you know when production will be updated so I can send it out?
I'll have to ask Madi. I'm not sure.
Okay.
He said that he'd let me know.
Okay, awesome.
I'll get back to
Okay. Congrats on your
Matur.
exam.
I guess I'm next. Hi everyone. So a little update. The trait/demographics that the user selects is in the analytics. So if you run a new experiment, you will see that as well.
Whoa.
As Florian mentioned, we're going to try to get the 5 products in the analytics. So the good part about that is it will allow me to pre-calculate everything. So in the Shiny app, it won't take time to load the market share. So I'll get everything in the analytics already. So yeah, that's what we're gonna do. Well, that's what my focus will be for this week.
Wait, that's huge. Just so I understand, the traits in the UI are now showing up in analytics. The traits.
The 5 products, the real 5 products, instead of sending them to the Shiny, we're gonna send them to the analytics. So I will calculate the market share in the analytics. Currently, we are calculating market share in the Shiny. That's why it's taking time. And that's why if we have multiple users, it's create like some disruptions.
Got it. No, but I was saying for the traits. Did you say that the persona traits are now calculated in RShiny?
The persona trait, yes, they are calculated in the analytics, not.
And are you getting the new persona traits?
The new persona, you mean whatever the user selects?
Yeah.
Yeah. You will see them in the dashboard.
Oh, that's excellent. That's excellent.
So along with 15 that we have from NHTS, whatever additional that user select in the UI, everything.
Wow. Does it work well?
Yes, I ran 1 or 2 smooth.
That's huge. Pablo, that's for you.
Sorry, can you repeat that? Sorry, I missed that.
The traits in the UI are now live.
Oh, that's live. Hell yeah. Thank you, guys.
They are in dev. So Marty said that he will first put that in test, then you can run few of the experiments just by yourself, and then if you're all good, then he will push it to prod.
So the next step is that it's in dev.
Yeah.
Do I wait until it's pushed to test, or do I test in dev?
You can test in dev as well. Will be same thing.
And okay, got it. And then if I say it's good after testing, and that could be today, we can then push that or release that to production. Wow, very fast. Okay, great. Thank you. Thank you very much, guys. That's awesome.
Next up is Atish.
Okay, so I guess following up on the traits, then I will also be adding binning to the population, like we had discussed, as in like sampling a lower bound from each trait level, and then also I'm finishing identifying which traits we need to remove from the user selection, like no English, for example, because we discussed removing extremities since it's just uniform. And then after that's done, I will work on the evaluation pipeline. That's all for me.
Does the binning, why are we doing the binning?
So we're doing the binning because we want to try to make our population as uniform as possible and like representing all of the trait levels as evenly as we can. So right now, if we just randomly sample, we'll pull the most white. I think it's around like 60-year-olds. That's like the highest representation. But if we do like kind of a stratified sampling / binning approach, then we can try to minimize the influence of them in the final data values, because we can like make sure like let's select 30 25-year-olds and then 30 60-year-olds as well.
I did not understand that.
Okay, so
what's the problem that you're solving with binning?
So right now, if we just like randomly sample over the entire population, most of our data set is skewed towards like 60 years old, white. I don't know which education, but like there's genuinely like there's not an even distribution over every like trait level, right?
But that's because it represents the U.S. population.
Yeah, or it's just sampled in a way that they pulled more of a certain demographic.
It's a random sampling, Atish. So there is no stratified sampling that we are doing in the backend.
Right, exactly. Like, yeah, so that's why when we do our random sampling, we'll pull something representative of, I guess, the population. But we in our final beta values, because we have less like minorities, we don't get an even representation of them. So if we do the stratified sampling, we can make sure, let's get 50 Asian people, 50 Black people, 50 white people, rather than just leaving it up to random choice, which will then probably yield like 100 white people and 20 Asian people and 20 Black people. Did that make more sense?
No. I mean, I get the objective, but like what you're describing, doesn't that get us like back to just uniform generation of all the traits? Then like why do we bother having the representative population?
Because we still are sampling from the population, so it still is tied to reality. If we like just did a Cartesian thing of like random combinations, then some combinations will show up that like might not actually exist. But it's kind of like the middle ground between the population and uniform, I guess. Like it's not fully uniform and not fully.
So you're oversampling. You're oversampling minorities.
That's a good way to put it. Yeah.
And are you making sure when you oversample you don't repeat the minorities?
Yeah, like duplicates are turned off, I guess.
Interesting. Okay. Find a way when you develop this, find a way to feature flag this so that we can in the future when we have some sort of measures of goodness for population generation, we can test uniform versus binning versus actual.
100%.
It's a good exercise. And I have no measure of goodness to know which strategy is best.
Yeah, neither do I. I'll obviously do the testing to see if things got better, but yeah, I'll feature flag it.
Okay, sweet.
Yeah.
Nice work, Katish. That's big. And make it like spend time to do it right, you know, make it extensible, create some nice functions that we could expose to the public. It's a very important capability that you're creating.
Of course.
All right. Next up, Hardy.
Hello everyone, happy Monday. Well, I'm grateful that I'm working on a collaborative workspace. It was pending for some time. I'm happy for that, and also, sorry?
Nothing. Go ahead,
Did
Hardy.
you say something about?
No.
Okay. Yeah, so this week I will be working on this, and I want to know like what exactly, like which data do we need to populate for the content. Yeah, I think it's experiment data.
When you say I'm working on this,
On
what is
Friday,
this?
Workspace, collaborative workspace. I want to ask like exactly which data needs to be populated for the document.
I think Tushar was already onto this, Hardy. So he planned that he will take things like feature importance, feature label importance, and add them by default. Did you hear me, Hardy?
No, it was breaking.
Can you hear
Can
me
you say
now?
again?
So I was saying Tushar was already
Yeah.
with this. So he had opinion that, or he was thinking that he will add by default things like feature importance, feature label importance.
Two charts. Okay.
I would say get familiar with the document that Tatevik or that the analytics uses. There's like this almost 1 megabyte file that we generate for every experiment that has the analytics all kind of pre-calculated. Take a look at that.
And where can I find that?
That's the market simulator, whole of market simulator, Hardy. If you want the exact
Okay.
file, we can give you that resides in WANDB.
Yeah, I wanted like some API or some
So
files.
I can help
Okay,
you
it's
remember
fine.
remember the same endpoint we used to get the files to do the AMC plots in the UI. We can use the same endpoint to get that file as
Yeah.
well.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So I can help you with that.
Okay. Yeah, that's it. So this week we'll be working on collaborative workspace.
All right. Rupesh?
Hi everyone, happy Monday. Ignore my voice. I'm grateful for the time over the weekend to rest and recover. Actually, over the past few days, I have worked on the push notification for the experiment completion, and I have a working model in place actually. But I still need to make some minor design modifications to raise a PR. Additionally, I have addressed the issue that Tatvik faced when like trying to run the new experiment. But still, like my solution is temporary. I still need to dive deeper to ensure it doesn't happen again. And eventually, I will be focusing on modifying the casual graphs for the human baseline experiments. And that's pretty much about the task that I'm working with. Thanks, everyone.
Are you still using Novu for all the notifications?
No, we are raising a push notification now, like a toast.
Via what?
We are raising a push notification now, like a toast.
No, are you using Novu or using something else?
No, not no.
Can you look into Novu, because Novu has all that notifications. It's got the push, it's got the pop up, it's got the email. Novu is meant to be the unified messaging platform.
Really?
If you want to use something else, that's okay, but let's make sure we move all of our notifications through a single pipeline, because we don't want to have some notifications through one pipeline, some notifications through the other. I would say check with Tushar on that.
Okay. Yeah. When I met with Mari, he informed that we were using the push notifications for the like I mean we were using the Novo for push notification thing, but it was a hidden in somewhere. But I have to build something different where like as soon as the experiment is completed, the user should see a pop-up like experiment has been completed rather than looking somewhere around.
But do it all through Novu. Novu has all that built in.
Sure, I will cover it and I will find a way for that.
Yeah. I mean, if you want, like, pick whatever notification system you like best, but let's make sure
Okay.
we're unified there.
Okay, sure.
Because I think we have because we also have Pendo installed, which has its own notification system, and then we also have that chat product. I forget the name of it. We have some chat product also installed, and all three of those systems allow for notifications.
But however, like we are not using any third-party thing for this notification. I'm just have built a component that will just pop up once the experiment has been completed.
No, I love that. That's valuable.
Mhm.
Just try to make sure we unify all of them.
Sure, I will go through the Nova ones, and if I find any feasibility over there, I will look for that.
Yeah, because we should be using the same messaging bus. Because like
Yes.
the problem is not how do we notify. The problem is how do we get this real time message from the application to the front end. And once we get that message, there's a whole bunch of things that happen, right? We update the Novu alert, we send an email, there's a bunch of, we create the pending card. So that whole pipeline should be try to unify it if you can.
Okay, sure.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Nice work, and I hope you're feeling better. I'm glad you're feeling better.
Yeah, I got some time for this weekend actually to recover.
All right. think next up is me. I'm happy my house is almost 80% set up. I have some space to sit, some lights to see. And in terms of the work, uh, I'm still working on the human baseline. I have the code ready, but I'm just gonna do some more testing locally first to make sure it doesn't break. So hope to put it either late today or by tomorrow. And basically then keep bugging Florian on the attribute and labels generation one, because that is a bit of a priority. Hardy has done an awesome job of sort of fixing the whole human baseline. Now, if you go and see, so if we had a long label, we'll cut because we just could not display. But now Hardy has added tooltip. So if you hover your mouse, you can see read the whole text. So that's pretty nice. The only last thing that we need to sort out is that somehow the text is not looking as great as it should. It's a little bit on a darker side. So we're just going to fix the text issue type. And with that, everything will be sorted on the human base display as well. And I think we have a late incoming.
Wait, real quick?
Yeah.
Were you able to go through the human baselines experiments and see which ones were complete versus incomplete and kind of clean them up?
No, that I did not. So okay, I wanted to ask: is Alp still around, or has he left?
He's around, but he has school until like January or something. So we can see if he can help.
Then I'll send him a message, and then I'll basically get a list from him, because I was under the impression because he was the one doing all that thing, and if he had an issue, he used to come back. But if I have to take over, then I'll talk to him.
Yeah. Yeah, let's go through that together. I'm happy to go through that together. I don't think it'll take very long. There's only 82 experiments. And then do we have a strategy or plan to get the effect coded experiments run?
We do. I want Tatavik to sort of free with all the current what she's doing, market simulator and all, which is sort of necessary for the like a user and income perspective. Once she's finished with all of that, I'll say it's just gonna take maximum half a day.
Nice.
To get that encoded.
And then did you see we got approval from Google to increase the tokens?
I saw some of the messages. I'll sit with Marty for that.
I think we only got 2 approved so far. We applied for like 6, so but we haven't been rejected yet. So we'll see what comes through.
And I think Audrey, you're pretty much asked.
Good morning, guys. Yeah, sorry, I'm running late. So pretty much last Friday, I was running the CI/CD end-to-end testing with Mo, and we ran into some issues because the test is taking like close to an hour to run, and then it fails. So he suggested that we sit with Rupesh today. So I was gonna have Rupesh review it also because he thinks that the issue could be related to the code. So because I know Rupesh was sick last Friday, we didn't want to bother him. So hopefully, Rupesh, you have time today so that I can show you. So that's all I have for my updates.
All right. Thanks, Audrey. And then I think with that, we are pretty much done.
Demos.
You're on mute, Avi.
Do we have any demos?
Do we have any demos?
Can quickly show the traits which are in the analytics.
Yep.
So I ran an experiment and included two from this list: political ideology and what was it? And relationship alignment. So the first place you will see it in the diverse preferences. You will first see the traits you selected from the front end. So we have political ideology, the graph, and the relationship alignment. After that, you will have the 15 traits, which I get in the survey CSV file originally. And also in the mindsets, when I show the distribution of the mindset based on trait, we will first see the traits selected from the front end and then the usual ones we always saw. So that's it. One thing I was going to ask, usually, for example, with the remaining 15, I was checking the number of the sample size. So if there was like less than 25, I was getting rid of those. I kept it for these two, so I don't know if I should keep it this way, or no matter how many people there are, we should always show those.
I think for any trait that comes from UI, you should be fine in terms of number of data points because it's a uniform sampling. So you pretty much will ensure that you have a same size bin. Mathematically, there might be a little bit of differences just based on distribution, but technically you should be fine in terms of sample size per level.
To be honest, I noticed, for example, relationship alignment, like it has many levels, but the sum is always within the limits. So
yeah, and even in each bin will pretty much have the same number of sample for the UI traits. Yeah, but for the others, yeah, if it's less than 25, then don't use it because they're just too less of a sample to do any calculation.
Okay.
Can we also, now that we're here, can you click on number of mindsets equals 3? Because one thing I noticed, or one thing I'd like to just ask that you double check is the mindsets and the traits are kind of connected. Because I saw in the past that I had difficulty getting from the AMCE graph to the segment name. So like here, if you scroll to the bottom, yeah, here, or even lower here, lower, all the way to the bottom, right? The mindsets, right? Like you would think that the budget conscious would be most sensitive to price, or the game count maximizers would be most sensitive to the game attendance. I don't know. I just want to understand how those segments are calculated and make sure that they're accurate.
I can quickly share it. The way the reason the blue one is budget conscious is when we look at the price compared to the red and orange, the blue has the highest price percentage. That's why price included in the blue. For example, game attendance, 18% is in the red. So it's higher than in the orange or in the blue.
And then the loyalist, but then the loyalist should be based on, so the loyalist cares least about team performance?
I think loyalist is... I'll take a look at this.
Yeah, I'm not saying that it's incorrect. I was just having trouble making the association. I sent some experiments last week that showed some strange results, and I wasn't sure if we should look at like when you calculate the segment titles, are you only looking at the attributes or attribute rankings, or are you also looking at the attribute level importance?
I think it's also the attribute level importance, but I will double check.
Okay, good. Yeah,
But this is one of the pending updates, Avi. At the moment, this is basically based on PCA on utilities. That doesn't act necessarily, or that doesn't actually reflect what you had chosen, right? So we have to move from this to actually a pure latent class analysis. And then only we'll be able to see all the time more meaningful and relevant titles of the classes.
You want to only look at the latent classes. That's bold.
Yeah.
I like it.
So this is actually a pending update. We have to move. In R, I think me and Tada, we were talking before I went for holiday. We couldn't, there is, I mean, at least I guess we couldn't find any already existing package. So I have to basically modify my Python code and incorporate to take care of this part as well.
Actually, while you were away, I have it saved. There is this one package. So, like once I'm done with the market share, maybe we can
Okay.
take a look at it.
Then we can take a look. Do send me the link as well. Let me read through this package. Then we'll that this makes sense or not.
Okay, sure.
I have a question. Tatavik, thank you so much for that demo. If I understood correctly, are you saying then that we have the ability to pick and choose? We always had the ability to pick all the character traits that we want as long as it's between 2 and 10, right? That hasn't changed. But now in the results, the selections that we select actually show. And that's like the new enhancement and the big win. I guess the question is, let's say I just pick 3 character traits, right? And that are not part of the quote unquote usual traits. In the results page, will it show those 3 that I selected plus the other usual traits, or just the ones that I selected?
It will show what you selected plus the usual 15.
And what was the, I'm curious, you know, I'm asking now the data scientists and like what constraints or anything, but is there a reason, what is the reason for sharing the other usual traits if the user didn't select those? I'm curious.
Because that's based on true population distribution. When you draw data from actual census data, those are the 15 that comes along with it. And then at the moment, whatever additional you choose from a UI, they are kind of just appended, assuming it's uniformly, like just a random pick, whatever number of labels you have. So if you only, let's say, did estimation or did a survey with the traits that only UI had, I'm not sure, we haven't done the test, how reliable the survey response will be. Because then the personas that you are creating are not something that existed or may have existed in the real world, and hence LLM may not have seen that data, and hence the responses may not be that valid. So now it's like, okay, we do add some traits which may or may not be seen by LLM, but we still have good chunk of traits that are indeed or would have been seen by the LLM. So together, we are still on a safer side.
Got it.
I want to add to that as well. In addition, it kind of gives us like a sociological key. Like those 15 traits that Subodh has picked are the 15 traits that exist in every database, almost every database, whether it's like PUMS or Cantor or Census or whatever, they're always going to have those 15. So if you want to then like go back to an old experiment and add new traits, you kind of have that key that lets you generate new traits with, you know, a distribution that is not random. We're not there yet, but like having those 15 there allow us to link those survey respondents to any other survey data that we get in the future. maybe.
And just like think this way as well, Pablo. So we have our data from census, right? It has whatever age, gender, and everything. Now suddenly somebody asked me, tell me what is the uh, we have this big five personality, right? So five of them. So what could be the personality for somebody, you, me, or anyone, right? Now, I don't know on top of my head how to predict that, but at least if I know the 15 legitimate other dimensions of your behavior in terms of age, gender, income, I can literally then ask LLM, okay, you are so and so person with these 15 traits. Now give me what could be the most probable or possible answer for a personality trait, whatever question I'm asking. So we can actually, instead of also doing a uniform, could also do like a question answer and then append it, which is basically in a pipeline as well. So rather than just having it uniform, make it even most probable, most likely, because of course LLM would have seen that kind of data. So if we pass this additional information and then ask for those additional trade values, those will be even more closer to the ground reality there.
Got it. Is there, I'm just learning here, guys. What are those then, the most fundamental character traits that we will always incorporate? I think that's good for us to know, and so I can explain that.
So
This is new. Yeah.
I can send you a CSV which has that exact 15, but it basically covers your socio-demographic and socio-economic. So number of cars, household annual income, where you live, whether you own a house or not, I guess, your age, gender, education, number of kids in the household. So a basic socio-demographic plus socio-economic coverage.
If those are like, and I totally understand the logic. That's basically to create the profile, right, of the agents so that we can normalize results and everything. If they are almost hard coded, let's call it hard coded into the insights, then why make them options in the character traits in the ideation process, right?
No, so they are not hard coded in the ideation UI. So those does not exist. What exists is different.
I think what Pablo is saying is some of the traits that we allow them to select are the same as those 15.
Okay. Yeah, like gen income. Yeah. So we remove that duplicate and use whatever we know is truth. So that's what Atish was also saying. So we'll take care of that redundancy and remove whatever. Say Avi?
Well, maybe instead of removing that redundancy, we can use those as additional filters, maybe?
So additional as in how?
Like age, income, education. You know, with the version 2 of the trait selector, I think there were like sliders where we could select, so, you know, narrow those down a little bit more. Maybe that would work better than removing.
Yes.
Yes. So once we get that UI up and running, and then we will. But to make that happen, I have to actually merge the iPumps with NSTS, because NSTS I only have around 20,000, and in the iPumps I got like 3 million, 3.5 million. So I have to merge both data sets, make sure fields are all same, if all sanity check. That requires at least a week of at least data exploration.
I mean, that'll be a fun pipeline to build something like that.
Yeah, so all those are in pipeline. I mean, I haven't written as a ticket explicitly, but I know I have to get all those things. And that's how basically I had asked Moab to actually build that layout in the first place.
That's awesome, Subodh. It seems to me that we're still in a design session of what this future state is going to be. Is that like, I don't sense that the design is hardened, ready to go, and then moving to dev. Is that correct?
We already have a design. So Mohawk has already done the UI layout where, so like I was saying, right? So age, right now age has a range anything, let's say 18 to 90 years age, right? So you could actually define your own range rather than just saying select age. So if you want to be really specific and select a group of people who are only between 20 to 30 years old, you will be able to do that and then just run a survey on that particular group only. So that UI is there. We need to do some data sanity check before we can bring that UI and make it as a part of the product.
Okay. Can I see the I guess concept or the UI design, or I love to. Yeah, sorry, I'm just always in the front lines.
Okay, then I'll schedule a session. I think it has to be then Hardy available because he's the front end, so he can pull that branch and show it to us. How does that look?
I love it. I love where you guys are going. I just I want to see what it's
also,
like and make sure that
it's in Figma.
Yeah, go ahead.
Also, if you want to look in Figma.
Where do I go in Figma?
I'll show you. I'll show you offline.
Love it. Thank you. This is so cool. And thanks for teaching me, Professor.
So I mean, I think in a month we should be there with that new UI, like real population definition at a granular level, along with the ability to not just add additional traits uniformly, but really like ask LLM and then add, so that everything becomes much more nice. Then I guess along with that, once we get this latent class, then that's like a really complete package. Like you can add traits and then see how everything flows. And if everything's right, we should be able to see much more meaningful latent classes if everything is like correct or at least same. Because I mean, just with a very basic population, at least for normal experiment, the R squared stuff, the price has all the time meaningful sign, everything makes sense. So I only assume once we do all this extra stuff, it's only going to improve. I think with that, it should be I did that. I think we're good then.
Thank you for the session.
Then I think let's get back to work.
All right, guys, let's be in the channels, work in pairs, work in groups.